In the darkest depths of the ocean, where sunlight could never reach, two ancient titans slumbered, Leviathan, the colossal sea serpent with scales harder than iron and eyes glowing like molten lava, and Kraken, a monstrous beast with endless tentacles and a maw that could swallow ships whole. Their existence was the stuff of legends, whispered by sailors who returned from the edge of madness. For centuries, these primordial creatures lay dormant, their power sealed by forces unknown. But the world had changed, and so had the sea. It began with a tremor beneath the waves, a deep rumble that sent shockwaves across the ocean floor. Fishermen spoke of boiling waters and skies split by lightning. Entire fleets vanished without a trace, leaving only debris and blood-stained waves. Scholars in distant kingdoms pored over ancient texts, warning of a prophecy that foretold the awakening of the old gods, a battle to determine the true ruler of the abyss. Despite the warnings, humanity was unprepared for what would soon arise. From the black abyss, Kraken emerged first, tentacles unfurling for miles, eyes glowing a sickly gold. Ships shattered against its hide like splinters. Entire harbors were reduced to ruins as the beast's hunger knew no bounds. Coastal kingdoms fell into chaos, their armies helpless against such wrath. But as Kraken's dominance spread, a ripple of defiance surged from the north, the domain of Leviathan. The sea trembled as the serpent awoke, its roar shattering icebergs and churning whirlpools into existence. Drawn by instinct and hatred older than time, the two titans converged upon the maelstrom, cursed sea where storms never ceased. Lightning flashed, illuminating scales and tentacles, as they clashed with a fury that split the ocean itself. Kraken's tentacles lashed with enough force to crack mountains, but Leviathan's fangs pierced even the toughest hide. Waves rose like walls, devouring anything in their path, ships, islands, men, all swept away in the carnage. For days, the battle raged with no victor in sight. Leviathan's cunning was matched by Kraken's brute strength. The sea ran black with blood, currents warped by their struggle. Onlookers, those few unfortunate enough to witness the clash, could only pray to gods who would not answer. Kingdoms far and wide sent fleets to intervene, but even cannons and fire were mere annoyances to these ancient gods. Hope seemed as distant as the sunken ruins now scattered across the seabed. In the heart of the storm, Kraken sought to drown its foe, dragging Leviathan into the abyss. But the serpent, with a ferocity unmatched, coiled its immense body around Kraken, fangs sinking deep into armored flesh. Thunder drowned out their roars as whirlpools opened, threatening to consume them both. For a moment, it seemed they would drag each other into oblivion, ending the war in a watery grave. Yet the ocean was not so merciful. From the depths, an unnatural silence fell, an eye of the storm. Wounded but unbroken, Leviathan broke free, its eyes burning with resolve. Kraken, enraged and desperate, unleashed a final assault, tentacles lashing with cataclysmic force. Islands shattered, the sea itself recoiled, but the serpent's wrath could not be denied. In a strike as swift as lightning, Leviathan's fangs found Kraken's heart, tearing with a force that sent shockwaves across the world. The sea roared, swallowing the blood and darkness as Kraken's body sank into the abyss, its reign ended. For a moment, the world held its breath, uncertain if Leviathan would turn its wrath upon the surface. But the serpent, battered and victorious, vanished into the depths, leaving only silence and wreckage in its wake. Survivors spoke of the battle for generations, of the gods who clashed beneath the waves and the terrible power that remained, unseen but ever present. In the ruins of kingdoms, where temples were built to honor the sea, scholars debated the meaning of the battle, whether Leviathan's victory was a blessing or a curse. Sailors avoided the maelstrom, now a graveyard of ships and bones, fearing the day the serpent might rise again. The ocean seemed calmer, but the silence was uneasy, a reminder that darkness still lurked in its depths. Far below, where light could never reach, Leviathan rested. Its eyes dimmed but watchful, guarding a kingdom of shadows and ruins. Peace had returned, but the sea would never be safe, not while the last of the old gods still drew breath, waiting for a time when its dominion would be challenged once more.